boys in the chat. Nice. I love it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TARDIS Zone. So, you can see by the headline, I see Rabbi's in the chat as well. Yes, the Doctor Who magazine has come out today, but I've been having a bit of a conversation with a couple of Jodie Whittaker fans over the last couple of days. These fans have been trying to justify and trying to tell me that Doctor Who magazine sells when Jodie Whittaker is on the cover. Now, I'm going to show you something very startling now in a second, and I'm going to show you this month's cover also. But to suggest that Jodie Whittaker sells is wrong. Now, I even had a fan send me a PDF of the sales of the magazine in 2020. We actually done it on the channel last year, if you remember. But the difference was we actually got the numbers for 2019, 2018, 2017, and so on, and compared them, right? Sales are down. At one stage, Doctor Who magazine was selling over 24,000 copies. It's down to 16, right? It's not selling. By the way, I don't know how many times we have. Look, you could be in denial all you want, right? You could put up these little posts and say she's selling and that is a falsehood from me and others, right? Here are the facts. The facts are that sometimes Doctor Who magazine will do interchangeable covers, okay? Number two, the biggest red flag here was the fact that the Doctor Who annual, for the first time in its history, did not feature Jodie Whittaker on the cover, right? There's a reason for that, right? Now, if she is leaving, like we all know that she is, she would have featured on this, the latest annual cover. Trust me. She doesn't feature because she actually doesn't sell. Now, I'm sorry that hurts her feelings, right? And I know some of you have been coming on to me Twitter and trolling me and attacking me because I've been saying this. The fact of the matter is, right, she does not sell. And I'm going to prove it today, right? So Doctor Who have released their latest, Doctor Who magazine have released their latest cover, issue, I should say. And also, I will point out when I show you this cover, remember there is a Comic-Con coming up on Sunday, right? So when you see this cover, this is why I think there's more to this story. This is why I do believe, right? And listen, we had Ian on, right? Ian deals with Doctor Who merch. He gets sent stuff, right? He's in the know when it comes to all of this stuff as well. And he confirmed on the channel yesterday that the Doctor Who magazine, with a cover with Jodie Whittaker is on it, it just doesn't sell. It doesn't ship enough copies. Now, you can deny that all you want. So here we go, right? I'm going to show you this. I already have it ready. Exactly, Rabbi. It's only selling 16k because of overseas sales, which adds 4k. UK sales are 12k, which is the level at Doctor Who Adventures was cancelled. Exactly, Rabbi. You've got to take these things and these factors into account, but they don't when they're doing their analysis, Rabbi. They refuse. As well, as I said, I've had a couple of fans trying to prove to me that this magazine, by just sending me the figures of 2020, but not showing me the figures of previous years, because, you know, because if they did, they would see that we're telling the truth anyway. But you have to break these sales down, and they show actually. But wait till you see this, folks, right? So Jodie Whittaker sells, yeah? Jodie Whittaker, you buy a Doctor Who magazine, it flies off the shelf if it features Jodie Whittaker. So explain this to me. So as you can see, I'm on the Twitter page. Right, so people don't think that I'm making this up. So there you go. The latest issue of Doctor Who magazine is out now. Highlights include a celebration of BBC's Doctor Who exhibits in the 1970s, a guide to Doctor Who filming locations, tributes to Jackie Lane and Damaris Hyman, and more. Get your copy here. So there's the cover, right? Now, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to go in. Right? Now, I'm going to share this. So I've went into it. It's not going to... so hold on. I have to share screen again because it's ridiculous how this actually does this on StreamYard. Right? So I've clicked into the link that was there, right? Now watch this. Tell me something, right? Tell me, guys, what do you notice, right? Right, so there's the latest issue. You can see that, can't you? Yeah. Right, so there's the latest issue, right? Now watch this, folks. Watch this. So Jodie Whittaker sells all of these Jodie fans are telling us, right? Watch this. So there are the current issues right there. So we've got Pertwee on that one. We've got Baker, Smith, even Colin Baker. Right? Watch this. Pertwee. Right? Again, Smith, Pertwee. Right? Look at this. Web of Fear Blu-ray. All of this. Where's Jodie Whittaker? I mean, she's the current Doctor, yeah? Where's Jodie Whittaker? Why isn't she featured heavily on this? Do you know what I mean? Like, even if they do classic covers, where is she? Why isn't she featuring? Right? She's not. Right? We have a little thing down here. Watch. I'll be fair. There's a little thing there. That was the last cover, wasn't it? Hold on. We'll stop that and we'll screen share the other one. All right, so hold on. Right, so there. This was this one. This was the one where she answered questions with Manip Gill. Hold on. So this was the last one, wasn't it? Rabbi knows because Rabbi buys the magazine. But this was the last one as far as I know. Right? Right? So there you go. In the corner of that little site that you see, her magazine is way down. It's not even featured big. Right? And again, look at the content. The 10th Planet, collecting audio cassettes, Time Fracture, Delia Derbyshire. See, someone even tried to make the point, well, how come issue 547 of Doctor Who magazine got over 17,000 sales, or got 60, just under 17,000 sales? Yeah, if you go into issue 547, because again, I actually do the research, right? It's full of classic stuff. It has a master comic strip. It also had a free Big Finish on it. And if I'm correct in saying as well, what else was on it? Because I did the research on it. Hold on, I'll read it out because I did screenshot it to one of these fans that were trying to tell me that I was talking out my arse. So I tried to show them when you go inside, even if she's on a cover, you go into the magazine, it's mostly all classic stuff, right? She doesn't sell. You can deny it all you want, right? She's not even on the annual anymore, right? Now, I'm not saying this because I go ha 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 ha. No, I want Doctor Who magazine to succeed, but you cannot lie to yourselves anymore, right? She just doesn't sell, right? And this is why we got a classic Doctor on the cover this month, right? That's why. And this is why they've been focusing mostly on Classic Who. Now, remember, there's a Comic-Con on Sunday, right? So you think this issue would have been in line with that, and they would have featured Jodie on the cover, or Chris Chibnall, Manip Gill, John Bishop, and say, oh, look, you know, it's Comic-Con Sunday, and mention something about it, right? But they don't. Right? I'm not saying this because I want things to fail. I'm trying to get you to open your eyes and see that everything is not as rosy as you fans are making it out to be. She's not selling, folks. Right? So this is what this is some of the content that was in issue what was the issue again? Issue 547. Right? Doctor Who magazine 547 is available as a strictly limited deluxe edition, right? So it was even a limited deluxe edition, right? And it was exclusive to H.W. Smith and storepanini.uk, right? Or .co.uk. Now, in the latest edition of Doctor Who magazine, the deluxe edition includes, wait, you hear this? A 76 music CD featuring 22 classic and rare tracks from 1963 to 1989. A 32-page supplement comprising of classic comic strip stories featuring the Master. A joint double-sided poster, a serious 12 art card, 3 Big Finish audio dramas to download, and Big Finish stickers, right? So again, when you're analysing these things, you have to take all these things into account, yeah? And the fact that that issue, even if true, if that issue was, right, a big selling issue, it's because of the classic content in it. It's nothing to do with Jodie Whittaker being on the cover. So again, you know, you need to wake up, right? Screen Rant, The Guardian, all of these news outlets that were supporting this era, that were saying that this era are fine, now they're all coming out with articles to say, well, maybe Doctor Who should end now. Screen Rant is saying what they need to do to save Doctor Who. But yeah, all of these outlets were telling us that Doctor Who was fine, that we were the bigots, we were the sexists, that the show was fine, that we weren't fans of the show. Right? But now look at them all. Look at them all. They're all jumping ship. They're all coming out with their master plan to save the show. Yous are 2 years too late, yous morons. So wherever hole yous crawled out of, get back into that hole and stay there. Yous have lost all credibility. There are YouTube channels like mine that have been highlighting this problem for the last few years. And instead of actually being on their side and actually saying, oh yeah, these fans have a point. No, you came out and you attacked us all. You called us all the names under the sun. You labelled us sexist. And now the current fans of this era label us all sexist because apparently, you know, it's all about us not wanting Jodie as the Doctor. And that may be the case for some fans, but I think fans have seen the bigger issue now and they know that Chris Chibnall and what BBC are doing with Doctor Who is the issue here, right? There are only 3 current era covers in the last 20 months and only 2 Jodie covers. There you go. I mean, look at the Doctor Who annual should have been the wake-up call for these fans, but they won't accept it, right? You even have YouTubers out there desperately still trying to spin the ratings. We even had some YouTuber out there that tried to say that the reason why Doctor Who merch wasn't selling was because of child poverty in the UK. They equated it to child poverty in the UK, saying, oh, mammies and daddies might be able to buy Timmy all the Doctor Who merch that he wants. Like, seriously, how many more excuses do you guys have to come up with to realise that we've been telling the truth all along? We do not dislike Doctor Who magazine. There are people like Rabbi there that's in the chat now that still subscribes to this magazine, right? And still gets it when every issue comes out, right? The problem is that, you know, when the Whittaker era started, the content wasn't great at first, right? Sales were down, and then they realised that the magazine, look at last year, it was quite telling that the staff of Doctor Who magazine, right? We've even done a video on it. We've thrown the screenshots up on Twitter, right? Begging people to subscribe, to get a subscription, right? They had 6 month subscriptions and 12 month subscriptions. I think the 6 month subscription had 25% off. And I think the 1 year subscription had 50% off, right? They're putting it down. They're hoping that people will buy more magazines. It's not selling, right? And now the people at Doctor Who magazine know this now. So why do you think there's more classic content? And by the way, the funny thing is these fans have actually all called out, why isn't Jodie featuring much in this, that, and you know, why isn't there enough Jodie content? We're telling you why. But you won't listen to me because you think I'm a sexist, bigot, racist, homophobe, transphobe, whatever, right? You should be listening to me. I'm trying to tell you what's going on, right? You need to open these eyes. This era and everything surrounding it is a failure. That's the reality of the situation. It's all a failure, right? Now wake up, right? And start questioning these people, right? You should have done it too. It's after Series 11, you didn't. You need to come out now against Chris Chibnall, right? Because if he continues to be in charge, it's going to continue down this path. And trust me, Jodie Whittaker won't feature much. She won't feature much. But it is quite startling and telling that there's a Comic-Con coming up on Sunday, and you think they would have correlated this magazine's cover in time for that. But no, Pertwee is on the cover. And I've showed you the other covers, right? I've showed you all the other covers, right? So the question you Jodie Whittaker fans need to ask yourselves is why do they keep featuring classic doctors? And when you get, and when you finally do get the answer, which I've been telling you anyway, but when you finally do get the answer, it'll click. Right? The answer to the question is Jodie Whittaker, unfortunately, does not sell. Right? Is it her fault? No. It's got to do with BBC and how it's run and how they're running Doctor Who. They made her unlikable, you know, with interviews and all that she did. So they hindered themselves from day one. Right? Now, obviously, when she first was announced, the promotion after promotion after promotion, she was on every cover. But even then, sales were going down. And they've continued to go down since this era has been around. So much so, as I said, Doctor Who magazine themselves have been asking people to desperately sign up. Now, they have used the pandemic as an excuse, right? But the problem I have with that is this, right? This magazine is sold in supermarkets, right? And it's also sold online. There is no excuse. The supermarkets weren't closed during the pandemic, right? And even if people were afraid to go out, they could order the magazine online. So there is no excuse. And I'm not buying the excuses, right? Because during the pandemic, the shopping centres and the supermarkets have been open because we all need food. Right? You mean to tell me that you can't go to a magazine stand and pick up the latest copy of Doctor Who magazine? Sure, I could go into town now and go into Eason's and pick up the latest copy of the Doctor Who magazine, even though most of the city is still locked down. Right? I can go to any supermarket that features the Doctor Who magazine. There is no excuse. All the excuses are running out. All the excuses are running out. You need to open your eyes. Yeah, true again. True again. Every other periodical was fine during this pandemic. Of course it was. Of course it was. These kids will never listen because their hatred for me and others like me that tell them everything that they need to know. Right? They'll ignore it. And as someone said, WH Smith's was open throughout the lockdown too. So there you go. There is no excuse. As I said, you can order it online. You go to these shopping centres and then WH Smith, as this person has said, it's open. I don't live in the UK, so I don't know if that is the case. But if that is the case, there you go. There is no excuse. You can't come up with any more excuses. This era and everything around it is a failure. I've even had people on that have dealt with Doctor Who merch that actually review stuff that they get. Right? I've had people on the channel. They even said it themselves. Why do you think all B&M, right, and all these other licensees are concentrating on classic merchandise? Again, all the evidence is right in front of our faces, but you refuse to believe it because people like me are reporting it, and because people like me have been labelled by some idiots out there as racist, sexist, homophobes, and all of this other rubbish, you won't listen to us. Right? You won't listen to us. So, listen, you know, continue to ignore it, and this magazine is gone. Right? So my suggestion is to you guys, you kids, I know you don't like the classic era, but if you want this magazine to survive and have his precious Jodie on another cover before she leaves, you better buy this one. Because if there's poor sales, for this one, right? Well, then nothing's going to save it. If Classic Coup can't even save it, or having a classic doctor on the cover, well, then the damage is done. It's never going to recover. And again, as I said, they've had interchangeable covers on certain magazines. They've also, as I said, for the first time in the history of the annual, do not feature the doctor, right? The current doctor, right? You don't need any more evidence. You could show me all the graphs you want from 2020. I don't care, right? I've seen the sales for previous years, right? The sales are down. They're down. That's a fact. And the fact that there's a Comic-Con coming up and she doesn't even feature on this month's cover is quite shocking. It's shocking. Now, some will probably come out with the excuse, well, they didn't know that they were doing the Comic-Con, the magazine, and they got told late. You mean to tell me that even if that was the case, that they couldn't put a cover or make it interchangeable? It was too late, was it? I don't get it. I don't get it. Listen, if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. But you just want to start opening your eyes before it's too late. And I'm serious. You just want to open your eyes before it's too late. Because this magazine is on its last legs. And that's the reality of the situation. Don't believe me. I don't care if you don't believe me. Right? Don't care if you don't believe me anymore. Right? At the end of the day, this is the way it's going to go, right? Magazine goes under. Then the show goes on and he's have nothing to complain about, right? He won't be able to go after fans anymore because he'll be gone. And by the way, don't blame us for the failure of this era, which I know most of you will do. Blame you yourselves because you supported this. We've been telling you for the last 3-4 years that this isn't working, right? And all you news outlets out there now that are all of a sudden throwing Doctor Who under the bus and giving you their ideas on how to save the show. As I said, go back into those holes that you came out of, right? Because we've been telling you this from day one. You refused to listen and came after fans like myself. So, you know what? You have lost all credibility and you are also responsible for the downfall of this great franchise. Right? Seriously. Unbelievable. But there you go. Anyway, that's basically it. So she doesn't feature on this month's cover. And again, it's quite funny because I've been literally having a conversation the last 2 days, and then this magazine dropped it, and then it proves my point yet again. Jodie Whittaker doesn't feature on a cover. So, and as it was pointed out, she's only featured on 2 covers in the last few months. So yeah, she sells. She's brilliant, she is. Let's stick her on everything. Why not? Actually, I think that's what BBC should do. Stick her on everything, right? And just put the final nail in the coffin. Just put her on everything. Go on. Actually, that's what they should do. To prove us right. BBC, I urge you, right? To prove all of these Whittaker fans wrong. Put her on everything. Right? Concentrate on her era and just sell her merch. We'll see how much it sells. It won't. They've had, 4 years? And she's not selling. So, how do they think she's going to continue this? No, she's not a success. It's down to Chibnall, by the way. It's down to BBC. It's down to the way it's being run. And it's quite shocking. It's quite shocking. This is going to be the end of Doctor Who magazine if they don't change. And I'll tell you now, I'll be surprised if this new issue doesn't sell more. Now, I'd actually like to see. The thing about it is that, like, you look at the trends, right? You look at what's been happening. I mean, even now today, I mean that should be big. I mean, 2 weeks ago, they were asking people to buy a subscription. I was told, and I did a video featured it on this channel, I've been told by my sources that Doctor Who magazine is one bad month away from bye bye. One bad month. Now that's what I'm being told by my sources. Of course, as I say, take that how you want, to pinch of salt. If you don't want to believe me, that's fine. I'm just telling you what I've been told. We featured a video on it. Doctor Who magazine is one bad month away from annihilation, basically. So, ignore the evidence if you want to. Spin the ratings if you want to. And by the way, those YouTubers that spin the ratings and defend this magazine, they're the biggest problem we have in this fandom. Because they're selling you a lie. They're telling you that everything is fine, and it's not. And they have an agenda, by the way. They have an agenda. These people that are talking about Doctor Who don't like Classic Who, right? Because they're always slating it, right? They're always trying to spin Whittaker's numbers, right? It's desperate. It's desperate at this stage. You can't, right? Ratings are down. Magazine sales are down. Merch sales are down. She doesn't feature on covers that often. And she didn't feature in the Doctor Who annual for the first time since the annual has been out. If that isn't proof enough, I don't know what is. But these guys will continue to spin because they've no what. I'm getting messages off someone here already. See, this is brilliant. But it's someone that we know, and I think they're giving me further information, so they're obviously listening to me. So I want to say hello. How are you? So there you go. Be told Doctor Who magazine circulation is going down thousands per year. It doesn't matter if Jodie has the best-selling cover. The sales are literally shit. And by the way, guys, this is all easy for you to check out yourselves. All it takes is a few seconds of research, right? Like it's starting. I'm reading this now, right? Because I've been sent this. Yeah, I got that one, mate. That's someone sent me a bleeding graph and all, man, to try show, but they don't show all. It's funny. It's funny. By the way, if anybody is wondering, it's Matrix Lord that's sending me all of this stuff. And me and Matrix Lord don't always agree on stuff, but the fact that he's actually backing me up on this says a lot, right? Because he'll tell you himself, he knows the state of this, the state of this franchise right now. He's under no illusions, right? And we don't always agree on things, but he knows when it comes to this is one thing he'll agree with me on, right? I'm not saying this because I want the magazine to fail. I'm trying to make his open his eyes so we could save the fucking thing, right? I was even asked by me sources. Even me sources came forward and said, "Noel, please do us a favor. Please get your subscribers to buy the magazine because it's one bad month away from completely disappearing." Right? They asked me. And I did say to you, it was up to you guys to do what you wanted to do. But I would say to you, do. Because we don't, with the magazine the magazine survived the show. The demise of the show in the 80s. It survived. And it's not going to survive this era. So I would. I can't believe I'm saying this. But I would buy this month's issue. I would. folks. It's got classic stuff. I would, and to keep it afloat until a new era comes along. Excuse me. But basically pleading with me, Noel, ask your subscribers to subscribe to Doctor Who magazine, because nobody wants it to go under, folks. The magazine is just as legendary as the show. It's been through tough times, but this is the toughest time it's ever had. So yes, I would say buy the latest issue. I would buy the latest issue. The magazine is hanging by a thread. You're absolutely right, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't matter how much you spend this. It actually upsets me, believe it or not. It does. This magazine's been around a long, long time. Now, I'm not going to say that I've bought every single issue. I've not. I've bought an issue here and there, right? Doctor Who magazine is not really my cup of tea, you know? Because I got lazy. I don't really like reading that much anymore. So it's the only reason why I won't. But I have bought one, and I can't remember where it is, but I have one. I did buy one because it featured I think Matt Smith on the cover, and I bought one. It's it's ridiculous. It's sad. Because if these kids only opened their eyes and woke up, right, we can actually save this, right? We're on your side. We've always been on your side, guys. We've just seen what's going wrong. You refuse to see it. What's it going to take? Seriously, what's it going to take? Is it going to take, right? So they've already took her off the cover of the annual, right? So that didn't spur you into action, right? So is the magazine collapsing going to spur you into action? Is the collapse of the show and its ratings, which is happening right now, is that going to spur you into action? I know you are all obsessed with Jodie Whittaker and think she's great, and that's fine, right? But Chris Chibnall's there and he's writing his Dyer, which has not come out against him, and a demand that he sacked, right? Because at this stage, I even did a poll a few months back, right? And I said, hypothetical question, keep Jodie, keep Chris Chibnall, who would you keep? Right? To save the show, if you could only get rid of one. Right? Guess who won that poll? It was a landslide. It was a landslide for Chris Chibnall. Right? Because even fans on our side of the argument that don't like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor have come to the realisation that she's not the main issue here. He is. So, you all know, I even see his writing saying that his writing's not great, he doesn't give her great scripts, but yet you all stay silent. You won't come out and criticise, because you're afraid then your peers will come after you, like they come after me. Like, grow up. Grow a set of potato sacks, as they say in Ireland. Or grow a set of balls, if you don't know what that term was that I used there. Grow a set of balls, man. Right? Step up and actually do something constructive for a change. Chris Chibnall is enemy number one in Doctor Who right now. And enemy number one must be sacked and taken down. Philip says, it's been running since 1979 and on, but the year I was born, mate. And it's fair, that's quite a feat, but things wear thin eventually. Listen, again, I will take into account myself that it has been around since 1979, and over the years sales will fluctuate, right? They won't always go straight up. They'll fluctuate over the years. But look at the drop off, folks. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't care if the one magazine cover got 16,000. You have to look at the overall picture and look at the drop off from previous years. It's startling. It's absolutely startling. And when I've got people that like Matrix Lord, and we don't always agree on stuff, and he'll tell you that himself. But when I've got people like him even backing me up on this, right, then you know there's something up, because I'm telling you, we don't always agree on stuff. But the fact that he's literally sent me a message now, because he's obviously listening to the stream, and if you are, how are you, man? Actually, Joe, if you're actually around, if you want to pop on for a few minutes, you're more than welcome. You can come on. And you can give your opinion yourself if you want. Hold on, I'll text you. Haven't had him on in a while. Why not? As I said, I've buried the hatchet with him. We're too old and bold to be fighting with fucking each other. You know, we're not always going to agree on stuff. And, you know, we kind of did go overboard with each other. You know, I said things I shouldn't have said. He said things he shouldn't have said. And I'm just too old in the tooth to be fighting with someone that I consider. And as I said, I've always considered Joe, you know, a good YouTuber. You know, I have said things like, you know, out of anger, and he knows that. But I have respect for what Joe does in this fandom, you know, and I don't want to be fighting with people like Joe. You know, we're all on the same side here, you know. We all want what's best for Doctor Who. And that's the way we should look at it. But it's sad. It's sad. I just don't like. I just wish these kids would listen. We're not the enemy here. We're not the enemy here. We're trying to actually highlight the issues, and hoping that you will all say and look and say, yeah, they do have a point, but you won't. You are too stubborn. You are too stubborn. You don't like me or others out there that report it, so you won't listen. And then you do use our videos and stuff like that because you just won't listen. You need to put your hatred aside of me and others out there reporting this. And you need to look at the cold, hard facts. And the cold, hard facts in this case are the Doctor Who magazine's hanging by a thread. And I would nearly go as far as to say that the show is hanging by a thread if you look at the ratings. Series 13 will have to be better than Series 12 ratings-wise, I believe, for them to even consider continuing. Now, I know Joe has a different opinion on that, and that's fine, fair enough, you know. But that's where I stand on it. That's what I believe. If there isn't an uptake in the ratings, I just don't see how this show, magazine, and everything else survives. I just don't. And I'm just being honest. We'll see now. Is he coming? I wonder if he's going to come on. I've sent him a message, so I'll give him a few minutes to respond. We've got Matt Pop. Is that really you, Matt? Right. Hold on. Look, it's time that fans in this fandom, especially the ones that won't listen to us, you need to understand that we love Doctor Who. I've grew up with this show for over I'm 42 now. I've grown up with this show since I'm a kid. It's meant the world to me. And when it came back in 2005, I was over the moon. It came back at a nice time in my life as well, actually. But to see it fall so fast, And that's been the startling thing for me since this era. We know it had its problems under Moffat. Nobody has ever denied that. But to see the decline since Chibnall has took over has really upset me. And yes, I don't like Whitaker's doctor, and I don't like the stories and all that. But at the same time, I don't want it to collapse. I don't want it to disappear. Nobody does. Doctor Who does bring joy when it's done properly to people's lives. But maybe, people have been talking about and say maybe the best thing is a break. A couple of years hiatus. I wasn't always down for that. I always try to be a bit of an optimist, I was saying if they get the right people in, they could save this. But I'm not too sure now. It'll be very interesting though to see how this latest cover and this latest issue sells, considering it has a lot of classic. Now, if it doesn't and it struggles to sell, then Doctor Who is in a lot more trouble than I even thought. Because classic Doctors do sell. It's sad. It's sad. I just wish people would open their eyes before it's too late. I personally think it is now. I hate to say it. It's upsetting. It is. I'm looking at me Doctor Who collection now, and all that history. It's right there in front of me. All that history could disappear. I mean, look at it. Pyramids of Mars, Genesis of the Daleks, the Five Doctors, the Armageddon Factor, Inferno. I'm looking at me classic collection. It's upsetting me. All that legacy, all that history flushed down the toilet, and for what? And for what? Still baffles me why they made the decisions that they made, but there you go. I'll never fully understand why they went down this route. If they thought they were going to get some miracle boost in the ratings because they hired a woman, well, they've been clearly shown that that's not the case. So this is why I'm baffled. I've never understood the decision to go with a female doctor and break a narrative that's been there for over 50 years. I just don't get it. I still will never get it, and I don't think I ever will. But they done it, and this is the result. It's game over. Right, he has said yeah, so I'm going to bring him on because, it's been a while since me and Joe have spoken to each other. Of course, I won't get a word in edgeways when he comes on now because he's like me. He's a chatterbox, but we like the old chatterboxes. Yeah, I'm sending you the link now, pal. I'll send it in your messenger there. Jesus, man. I'm fecking sweating here, lads and ladies. The bleeding fecking hell, man. The temperature still hasn't fecking. Now, hold on. Did I do this? Clickety click. Hold on. You know me with technology matrix, Lord. There you go. There you go, pal. Get yourself in here and we'll have a little bit of a ding-dong chat before we finish up. We got 29 people watching. We know why we have 29 people watching, don't we? But listen, if there are Jodie Whittaker fans listening to me, I plead and beg with you right now. Open your eyes, please. Before it gets to a point of no return, and I think we're nearly getting there. You need to open your eyes to the facts and the reality of the situation. And the facts and the reality of the situation is that the magazine, it's sad. Listen, here's Matrix Law. I want to hear what he has to say about it. By looking at his face, he looks a bit like myself, a bit fucking. This is like, how did it get? Why did we? I'm actually getting upset now. How was it allowed to get this bad? Let's see what Joe has to say anyway. Hey Joe, it's been a while. How are you?
I do know.
I'm not too bad, pal. How are you?
Hanging in. A lot better than Doctor Who Magazine's doing, I guess.
Yeah. How's the weather?
Raining here and there. Not that great.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Can we swap weather? You can have your sunshine and we can take you around.
we have horrible weather here. So I'm not a fan of Chris Chibnall, as you know. I really don't like the man at all. He has a problem with not doing his job correctly. And the reason why I say that is because he doesn't watch every episode of Doctor Who like Moffat and all them, and he doesn't do his research. So when he does stories, he doesn't pay attention to A Good Man Goes to War when they're explaining that the time vortex gives the Time Lords regeneration energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he contradicts and says that some alien from another universe gave us the regeneration energy like the Time Lords. So he just really he contradicts everything that all the writers that came before him. Like he just throws it out the window, especially like, you know, the Gallifrey being stuck in the the Pocket universe. They already got out, but he never saw that episode.
Yeah.
So but he is a prop. Like, in other words, he gets them to get money that they need from different organizations because of his name and recognition. But he's a pain in the ass to deal with because they lost the Funko Pop license because he won't allow them to make figures of any of these major villains that he's going to show in the series. They want to show new content. They want to show new stuff that's going to appear in Series 13. So why can't you allow them to just pop out a figure? Hold on.
No, that's right. But listen, another factor to the Doctor Who magazine's downfall.
Yeah, he doesn't like Doctor.
He doesn't give the Martin like RTD and Stephen Moffat were very generous to the magazine when it came to exclusives and other stuff like that. But he doesn't do this sort of stuff with the magazine.
No, he doesn't care about Doctor Who Magazine. He has his own agenda, and Doctor Who Magazine survived even beyond when Doctor Who was canceled. It was around for, like, it's still around. So the guy just doesn't respect, like, tradition. He doesn't respect, statistics and records, and they make fun of him. Like, he gives them, Series 13 is going to be great because the Doctor is, oh my God, her, and he doesn't give them anything. Like, give them they used to always have exclusive content. That's why they're called Doctor Who Magazine. But for Doctor Who Magazine to not have anything, not even pictures, nothing, and all these his favorites like Radio Times, he'll give them stuff because he likes Radio Times. But he knows Doctor Who Magazine's he's adding to the Doctor Who Magazine failing because he's the showrunner. He could put a stop to it. He could give them stuff every issue, and he doesn't give them anything. He wants it to die. He doesn't want to. He always gives them a problem with releasing trailers. They had Peter Capaldi had trailers out 6 months, 8 months. They promoted Peter Capaldi more than they did the 50th.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Remember how we got like a hashtag? Like a teaser? It was like, what's that?
Yeah.
Like Matt Smith's doctor teaching us what a hashtag is. That's not really a teaser for the 50th. But, like, he just does not want anything spoiled, anything leaked. Whereas Russell T. Davies and Moffat would be putting Doctor Who on buses,
on advertisements. They wouldn't give Arton away, but they'd give the fans enough that would keep them interested and want them to buy this magazine to find out what's going to go on in the upcoming series. But he doesn't do that.
He doesn't give them anything.
When he does do interviews, he's very coy, and it's like as if he doesn't want to do the interview. Do you get me? It doesn't seem like he's interested. I mean, look at. I was told. Now I don't know if you've been given any information on this, but I've been told that Doctor Who was one bad month away from you know, maybe disappeared. And that will be sad, won't it? If it was to happen, though, Joe, that would be the biggest.
It will be Chibnall's fault
It
completely.
would be 100%. It's nobody else's fault.
And people think, all right, Jody out, we got a new doctor. They don't understand that Chris Chibnall is still there.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who's the new doctor. He's gonna run it to the grounds.
But that's what I said. If Whitaker gone means absolutely nothing now.
Nothing.
Because she is not the main issue here. The main issue.
He is the problem.
He's the problem. Exactly. And if you don't get rid of him, right? Now, obviously, I've been told something different to what you've been told. You've been told that Series 14 is going to go ahead. But if he's at the helm, right, and that is true, and he is at the helm, nobody is watching Series 14, Joe. They won't, because Series 14, whatever he's going to do in Series 13 is going to be worse than what he did in Series 11 and 12 anyway, right?
Right. The ratings do affect things, but it doesn't affect things the way you think, because they got so much extra money to have it on HBO Max. Because you got to understand something. When HBO Max was starting up, they needed content. So they're throwing millions everywhere. They would take anything. Fresh Prince, here you go. Friends Special, here you go. They were throwing money like water everywhere. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if it sucked or not. They just needed to have something on their network, right? Now, as they progress and as they evolve and they get subscribers to HBO Max, then they'll look at stuff and they'll be like, oh, Doctor Who ratings are terrible. Let's dump that. But this is the way the situation is. So they are committed with Doctor Who for Series 14, okay, and the 60th, and then they're out right now, right? China is committed to Series 15. So things are going to dramatically change, because if the show doesn't get better, it won't be renewed with HBO Max. They'll dump it. And even China will dump it because, now you're just about done with the contracts now. So Chris Chibnall is putting less and less Doctor Who out than anybody else, period. I mean, they're catering to this guy. This guy's like, oh, because of COVID, I can only get 8 episodes out. All right, but Russell T. Davies popped out like 3 shows.
Oh, no, Wiley, yeah, I know.
Problem.
And Moffat was pumping out 2 shows.
Moffat was doing the movie Tintin. He was doing Sherlock. He was doing Doctor Who. Now, it did affect Doctor Who, mind you. And then he had, I guess his kids wanted to keep going to America and going to concerts and this and that. And he was starting at, like, when he came to Manhattan, they're filming a Doctor Who. They kept coming back every year, doing different things. So, like, Chibnall just doesn't give a crap about Comic-Con, doesn't give a crap about the action figures. Remember how they had a lawsuit where they didn't even want to show the damn calendar? And you know what happened in America? They didn't have that calendar. They had 4 other calendars. And they're like, screw that. We're not dealing with this. Right? They took down my Instagram because I showed the sonic screwdriver. And I never had my Instagram taken down for any period of time. But yet their favorites, like Chibnall's favorites, like if he likes certain YouTubers, he'll let them like allow that. But it's like, it's favoritism. That's all it is. He allows his photographers on set. He allows his security detail. And if he wants Doctor Who magazine out, obviously he's not giving them content. That's the sad reality. So Doctor Who magazine will go. And to him, he probably doesn't want Doctor Who magazine because he doesn't want any outlet that's just labeled Doctor Who, because then he's forced or he feels pressured to give them stuff, and he's not giving them anything.
Joe, what do you think needs to happen? Right, I'll ask you this, and I'll ask you guys in the chat as well. What do you think needs to happen for the magazine to recover from its slide now? What would you do if you were there now, right? And you are the editor of the magazine right now.
Right.
What would you do differently that's being done now to try
first of all, they need to have the exclusive scoop and no one else. No Radio Times, no this. That, oh my God, these are the titles of Series 13, like tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Then, oh my God, here's an interview with friggin' Mandip Gill, and here's an interview with Jody, and here's an interview with whatever, right? Then you show, oh my God, this monster is back. Like Davros is back or something. I'm not saying he is, but like they'll be like, look, here's a picture of Davros in Series 13. People start getting excited. They're like, oh my God, right? Yeah. The circulation will go up. Let's face it. One of the main reasons why people buy Doctor Who magazine is because they like the posters.
Yeah.
You get a nice Missy poster. Oh my God, you put it on your wall. Missy, John Sim, and Miss, right? Oh my God, come on, that's a grab right there. You're like, oh my God, I love that poster, right? Yeah, there's nice stuff in there, but you can read everything online, really. Because magazine circulation in general is down. So, like, everybody's going digital, right? So, what's going to happen with Doctor Who magazine is it's going to go digital. It's going to survive like a half-life, but look at the way it is. Capaldi was like 19,000 and 18,000, 17,000 circulation in the magazine. Now you're down to 16,000. First of all, there's millions of Doctor Who fans, or maybe there's not now, and you only have 16,000 people reading the damn magazine.
I know.
That's pathetic.
It is
pathetic.
And you know what? The reason why I wanted to do this stream was to try get through to these kids. I'm not doing this because I hate Doctor Who magazine.
No, we want to save it.
Just to open your eyes, because we haven't had you on actually for a while. So I wanted to get your opinion on the fact, for the first time in the history of the Doctor Who annual as well, which should have been an eye-opener for people.
No fault. He doesn't want to leak Series 13. He doesn't even want to show her if she's wearing a new coat or not because he feels it's spoiling. So not even what her hair looks like. So he said no cover. Like, that's not cool. Like, you just ruined the magazine.
Do you know what's very telling as well, though? I was thinking, right, if they don't put her on the magazine, they could have at least put her on the magazine with the rest of the doctors or something to kind of cover themselves, but they didn't. They just came out with a generic cover.
But see, by doing that, then everybody starts talking, oh my God, she's out, right? You don't know that. Like, just because Chibnall won't allow them to take a picture, that doesn't mean she's out. So, like, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I've tried to stay away from Twitter because I noticed that I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like, you got to look at it from a business standpoint, too. Are we productive when we're on Twitter? Not really, because we're fighting with children. That the people make these fake accounts, and then all day long we would be on Twitter like, you're wrong. These people are putting out this Doctor Who content on their YouTube channels. They're making it like they're leaks. They're not leaks. They're making that shit up. No Donna Noble's coming back and friggin'.
I know exactly.
Like, shut up.
By the way, I actually know who you're talking about there, but I won't say
I'm talking about somebody that I really didn't interact with, not the person that I was fighting with. Right. Because there's this other kid that I think you were interacting with him about the magazine. Like, where do you come up with these figures that it's the best-selling, like, Jody? First of all, nobody's hardly reading it. So, like, if you got 5 people reading it, it's like, 5 people are the best sales, and the other sales are like 4.
That's what I said. If it's a limited edition, they've got certain amount of issues printed, right? So if they've printed 5 copies and they sold 5 copies, of course you would be the best selling because it's sold out.
Exactly. You got 4. I'm not saying that the sales are that bad, but all I'm saying is that they have these kids. They're YouTubers from the UK, and they start off with Doctor Who, right? But now there's nothing to do with Doctor Who. There's no news. There's no this. They don't give you nothing, right? So these kids, they make these thumbnails. Then they get this junk from Reddit or whatever. And they make shit out of nothing, right? Yeah. Nothing. Like, and I'm like, you know what? Why should I entertain that and then even comment about it? Because then they'd be like, oh my God, Matrix Lord commented about it, so it must be real. No, like, this stuff is fake. Like, why is Donna Noble? Oh my God, she's filming something else. She's friends with John Bishop. She went there to say hi. Didn't Jenna Louise Coleman go to the set of Paddington?
Yeah, I said that at the time as well when the fans were coming out and saying, "Oh, but she was spotted there," and I said,
"So what?
So what?
So what? Jenna Louise Coleman's not in Paddington Bear 1 and 2. She went to visit Capaldi. They had lunch. Who cares?"
Yeah. Who do you think the special guest is? Do you think it's Chibnall trying to say it's a very special guest, but
Pro-
it's someone that we already know.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's probably Sasha Dewan.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're gonna resolve the whole timeless child, and he's full of shit, and all. Because there's a massive contradiction. Okay.
Well, he is coming back. He is coming back.
Oh, he's absolutely back. So is Joe Martin probably. But the thing is, there's a plot hole because Moffat had established that the Time Lords get the regeneration energy from the time vortex. He's saying that they got it from an alien. Who's telling the truth? Moffat. So like he doesn't research his shit. So it's gonna be that either Rassilon duped the Master, and the Master believed that it was true, but it's not. It's not gonna be. It's just you got to think of these things too. A lot of people want revenge against the Doctor. The Doctor dethroned Rassilon, right, and the whole High Council. So they just had to go somewhere else, right? So Gallifrey, first of all, like everything is just so screwed up, especially like with the Doctor. I mean, he needs to establish, and then that's another thing too, right? They never were clear when they said that there's only 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
They didn't say it's 8 episodes plus a special, and then
they just said 8, but they haven't specified whether it's 6.
Right, because it was always like say 10 plus a special or 9 plus a. You always had a special. So now they're saying there's no special, but then they're like, well, the next season they could finagle and they could make the special ahead of the series. So then you're totally confusing everybody because you don't know what the hell is happening. Now, I always felt the Dalek thing was a trilogy anyway, the specials, because all the special are about the Daleks, Yeah. And that's the ratings thing where the ratings start going down. They're like, Daleks shoots up, right? Yeah. Captain Jack shoots up.
Yeah.
So if the season starts going like ding, ding, down, 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 then you get the special, it's up again. You know what I'm saying? So to me, the only way you could show that the show has a drastic improvement is you have a concrete story arc. And I always said, you want to prove how good she is, you throw the kitchen sink at her. I wanted them to throw the kitchen sink at her on her first series, right? They didn't. He played it soft. He created new villains. There was nobody, right? Then the moment you got resolution, everybody's like, oh my God, a Dalek is there, right? Like, oh my God, it's great, right? Yeah. I like resolution, right? Now, the other special I like too with Captain Jack, whatever, right?
I watched it, and I have to be honest, I reviewed it on this channel, and I gave it a mostly positive review. Now, it's full of plot holes, right? It doesn't make sense that Jack just appears out of nowhere, but there was some oh my God moments in that.
Right.
And I agree with you. I think the specials with the Daleks, I actually want to see where that goes, even though now people have said, why would you? Because it is an actual very interesting take on Chibnall's Daleks, the way he's doing them. And it is fascinating. I want to see the resolution to this, to be quite honest with you, and see what he does.
One thing is that the Doctor tends to get himself or herself in trouble. So they get a little too cocky sometimes, like Tom Lord Victorious or whatever. So the thing is that she's saying that's her pets. She's insulting her greatest villains ever. And it's going to come back to haunt her. She's going to get her regeneration might be caused because of the Daleks, right? So like that's going to blow up in her face because she got way too cocky. And the Daleks are monitoring this. The Daleks are not there. Davros. They're monitoring it. So it's going to come back to haunt her. She's going to be the cause of maybe a death of a companion or something, if that was the case, because if you wrote it correctly, you would have it, that the Daleks are pissed off. Davros is pissed off. There's your arc. Now, the one big problem that Chibnall did last season was he tried to do 2 massive story arcs at the same time. And only one of them people really gave a shit about, and that being the Joe Martin one, right? 2 completely different things. One, Joe Martin, where is she? Placement in the lineage of regenerations, right? Once, let me tell you something. When that happened, yes, we had the Timeless Child after that. Nobody gave a shit. Half the people really didn't give a shit about the Timeless Child. They were concerned with who's Joe Martin's doctor. And let's face it, that was the main thing. that was supposed to be a minor story arc, and it became the main story arc. Now, the Timeless Child thing fell flat because everybody knows from the previous episodes how the Time Lords got regenerations. Everybody knows from the previous episodes that Time Lord DNA is not compatible with Cybermen DNA, so they couldn't be assimilated or whatever. But Chibnall just throws that out the window, right? And another thing, how the hell could the Master destroy every single Time Lord that has TARDISes? Like, that's insane, right?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to be able to do that? It's not like they're going to a time war with the Daleks where the Doctor pushes the button, they're all dead, right? So, like, you know, he doesn't have the moment, the Master, so he doesn't have a doomsday device to, like, kill them all. So how the hell did he do that? Maybe he's unstable. Maybe they made him believe he killed Gallifrey. They implanted memories in him. Maybe they rescued him. Maybe Rassilon rescued Missy from the Cybermen thing. And that's another thing. Cybermen don't recognize the Master or the Doctor. How is that possible?
Yeah.
So, like, it's just plot hole city, you know? Do away with the period pieces. Like, you have now less episodes. Let's stay away from the standalone fillers, you know? And let's deal with a concrete story arc that every single episode has a massive, massive villain and a massive piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, but it looks like we're getting more historical stories, though. Again, for the upcoming series.
I know.
And I don't think he realised. See, again, people have made that point that you've made. That's what we need. We need something like a Line of Duty style kind of writing style for Doctor Who.
You need a nice story thing.
Yeah, and then every episode leaves on a fucking cliffhanger, so people want to come back and watch the next week to see what's going on. But he can't even do that. And then when he does do a cliffhanger, right, even though he said he wasn't going to be doing any, he did some for series. They were crap.
Right.
Jodie floating. Remember in the 4 series, Jodie floating in space with our fucking companions. Do you remember?
She could have killed them. She could have killed them. Like, they could have been, if it wasn't for that ship coming by, they would have been dead.
I know.
So she made a massive mistake. Now, when did the Doctor ever make a mistake like that? Not really. So that's pretty bad. So my thing is, the way I see it happening is the Doctor's going to realize that now her companions, even the ones that left, are too cocky, too confident. They think they could take on the world. So now Graham and, you know, friggin' Jesus Christ.
Ryan.
Right, yeah, right. They're going to try to do what the Doctor does, but by themselves. And they're going to get killed, right? Yeah. So she's going to wind up eventually saving them all and erasing their memory and putting them back because Chibnall is a bad writer and he's just going to do it that way. So in other words, the hint was the pizza. Like how, like they're looking around, like, do they know what's going on or they don't know? She's going to erase all their memories probably. And she's going to probably regenerate, and that's going to be the end of that. And none of her companions remember her. Graham won't remember her. Ryan won't remember her. Yaz won't remember her. And she puts them back the way they were, where they don't know why. Like, she don't know why she quit the police force, but she don't remember the Doctor. And that's the only resolution is going to be. Nobody's going to die. They're just going to, you know. Now, as far as John Bishop goes, I really don't know what the hell his character is about. I think they're making him, what is he, like a mechanic or something?
He's gonna be a buffer for bleeding Yaz or something.
He's gonna be comedic purposes,
the straight
right?
white male that Yaz is gonna bleed and talk to about how she's bleeding, oppressed and all of this rubbish. Telling you, man, that's what it's gonna be. That's why he's there, I bet you. Now, I could be wrong. I hope they do something clever with his character. Because John Bishop I like John Bishop. I think he's a great comedian personally.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him act that much, but the stuff that I have seen him in, he's pretty solid and decent. I just hope he doesn't become another Graham O'Brien where he's just kind of there, but he'll have his moments, but overall he's just there. I don't want that. You know, I think it's quite telling that Bradley Walsh is gone, you know. I'd say that'd be part of the reason.
Here's the thing: I don't think they're gone completely. I think that they will make an appearance in an episode.
They're probably in a regeneration scene,
or maybe they'll be connected to the final next to the final episode where she puts them back where they go. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think now, as far as surprises with Chris Chibnall has been adamant that he doesn't care about anything. He will have John Sim as master in there if he could, right?
Yeah.
So now that John Sim is not doing that Game of Thrones thing, I'm not sure what he's doing right now, but if John Sim's master pops in, I wouldn't be surprised. If David Tennant's doctor pops in, I wouldn't be surprised. If Harry Jones' prime minister pops in, I wouldn't be surprised, because Russell T. Davies got permission from Chibnall to make it canon that she survives, all because a little girl really loved Harry Jones, prime minister, and basically they wanted to tell her, oh no, she got out. She transmattered or teleported out before the Daleks killed her and stolen Earth. So she's still alive, according to canon. And there's been talk about other people that his friends appearing in the episodes. As far as another doctor goes, I would think that Chibnall, he doesn't care. So he would just have another female. And they would probably have somebody big name that you'd be shocked, like Phoebe Walker-Bridge this time. Because, again, by the time it returns, we don't know if it's going to be like 4 episodes only or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
or might go on hiatus when there's a new doctor because they got to get scripts. So, like, I could see Phoebe Walker-Bridge, like, stepping in and being like a main writer with Chibnall, and Chibnall being a showrunner, because they need to boost it. Right now, he wants to boost it female-wise. I really doubt it will be a male, no matter what, because I think it's Chibnall is in control, and BBC have no influence when it comes to that, and he has 100% say. So, I mean, if that's the case and he's going to get a male, you would have to change the logo because, again, it has the female symbol. So he does all these things for a reason, and I honestly think we should have Jodie by herself, like sort of when Tom Baker was by himself, without, you know what I'm saying, and just have, like, you know, someone be the companion for the episode, you know, and just see how she does without the fam, just by herself, you know, because I feel that the fam holds her back.
Do you think, okay, I'll ask you this question, do you think she'd do better on her own then?
I think she'd be do better because.
But do you think she has a screen presence though, Joe? That's the thing though.
No, I think she could do so much better without the fam, because it feels to me like she knows the solution, but she wants them to solve it so they feel important. Because, like, you know, let's use this battery to do this. Let's use the microwave. Like, it's probably like an educational thing, like a children's pro. Let the companions figure it out, because I can figure it out all the time. I honestly think I would rather have her by herself. I'd rather see her more menacing, because she doesn't have to be nice in front of the companions. What happens when she really gets pissed off? You know what I'm saying? So I would rather see her by herself a little bit before she goes. You know.
See, I hear you say that, right? I hear you, and I kind of agree to certain points, right? But then I kind of say to you then, well, the reason why Chibnall would have cast as many companions as he did in the first place was because obviously she didn't have the screen presence. And I think, right, she may do better on her own, but I don't think she has the gravitas or the screen presence to carry it off.
Well, here's the thing. You always got to test the water. You got to take risks.
What?
You're always going to take risks. You can't be like,
I don't think he does, and I don't think he plays her to her strengths either. Like, no. She's a very emotional person, so why not tap into that? She's actually a very emotional. I watched. Listen, my opinion of her kind of changed after I watched Who Do You Think You Are, when she did that thing on our family history, and she got, at first, I thought, here, she was slating some blokes, right? And I thought, oh, here we go now. She's just going to slate all the male fucking people in our family from the past. But no, she got very upset. She got very emotional. And I was like, why doesn't Chibnall tap into that sort of thing?
She could channel that emotions. But the problem is that Chris Chibnall was a control freak. And he wanted her doctor to be the way he wanted it to be, 100%. He didn't want her to do the research. He forced her not to watch it. And then the moment she's off, she's watching it. So, like, that's the point, is that he interfered with her development because he's too much of a micromanager control freak.
Yeah.
Okay, and he forced her to be a different doctor the way he wanted it. Now that's why I want him out and her to stay, because I would love for us to see how she performs under Neil Gaiman or somebody that, if it's like night and day. You know what I'm saying? Like, what push her acting abilities to the limit. And this guy is just not, he is not good for her as an actress for the doctor role. Like, if you had Moffat there doing an episode, or Russell T Davies, her doctor would be so much different and better and fleshed out. And he's holding her back, I think.
Yeah, but it's too late for her now, unfortunately, though.
There's never too late, because here's the thing. I mean, it all depends on, like I don't know what's going on overseas with the whole pandemic thing, because again, now we got a whole new thing going on, with a new strain. So I don't know what your rules are with filming over there or whatever, but like, as long as they're having no restrictions, then the show could be filmed, without like they have to film overnight or something like that. So I just want the show back, the episode count back to 10 plus a special, right? And I want them to highlight her strengths. I mean, if you watch everything else she's done, she's capable. Stop interfering in her development and let her be the doctor. Let her do it, And that's the point, is that I think she'd be great if they did a multi-doctor.
Here's a question. Thing. Do you think Chris Chibnall doesn't actually, even though he was responsible in bringing her in, do you think he doubts her abilities?
No. I think he's just a control freak. He's just a control freak. That's the problem. And even Moffat was a control freak to a point. And what happened? He wanted the doctor to wear this outfit, and Peter Capaldi already had an idea what he wanted to wear. So, like, Peter Capaldi did his own thing, and Moffat didn't like that. Okay, but he's, but it shows sometimes subconsciously in the writing if they're mad at the actor. Like, look at the whole 180 they did with Jenna Louise Coleman's character. He was pissed at her because of leaving, then coming back, and then you put stuff in there like she causes the death of Danny Pink because she calls him and he gets hit by a car. It's like, and she does stupid stuff like she wants the thrill of everything. And then they totally changed her from being the impossible girl to being a pain in the ass, basically. And it's just, Chris Chibnall, all of a sudden, Joe Martin, he writes spectacularly, right? Where, oh my God, she's amazing as a doctor, but you just made your doctor look like shit. It's like, are you mad at her because she sang Yellow? I mean, what's going on? So, like, and then all of a sudden, like, why is she just listening to the master who's a bona fide liar? Like, what's that about? Like, why would you listen to him about, oh, you're the timeless child? What are you talking about, right? Tom Baker, remember Tom Baker's doctor when he reluctantly shake the master's hand in Legopolis?
Yeah.
And then he knew, he's like, oh, I'm fucked. No matter what, I'm going to be killed. I'm fucked. Fuck it. Whatever, right? Let's just save the universe, but I'm fucked. I know it. Yeah. I shake this hand, but shit, I'm done, right?
We recently watched that episode, actually. It was, we recently watched that, but you're right.
Oh, yeah? She's too chummy with the master.
Yeah.
Like, too chummy. Like, why even having a dialogue about, when you fell off the top? Like, what the hell is going on? Right? Why is she so chummy with him? Like, with Saoirse Dhawan's character. They should be, like, hating each other. I don't know. I don't like the way
it's. Look, we know. Look, we got Comic-Con coming up shortly as well. I wanted to ask you, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to? We didn't get much the last time. Actually, we got hardly at the last time.
We got shit last time. Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be the same again? We're going to get absolutely nothing. Do you think we might get a teaser trailer? Do you think we'll get anything?
I want a teaser, but
you don't think so?
But Chris Chibnall doesn't give a shit. basically. I mean, you got to give them something, but
I mean,
so you know what? The special guest will be a
wouldn't it?
distraction. The special guest will be a distraction.
Yeah, but it would be. This would have been the perfect opportunity for them to drop something, the same as the Euro finals that just happened. I mean, BBC got record numbers watching that match, and they could have right after that match show the trailer. Right, that's what me and you would do, right? If we were promoting this stuff, because we know we would capitalize and use everything to get.
How many times did they do an MCU trailer during a football game at night?
Yeah.
On Monday Night Football. Oh my God, they're releasing a trailer to this. They're releasing a trailer to that. You know, it's a smart thing to do.
It's an absolute disaster. I do agree with you. I think he is.
I'm going to tell you right now, if we don't get a trailer or a teaser, it's because they're going to distract you with the special guests. Now, what would distract you enough where you wouldn't need a teaser if you had Joe Martin there? Then you'd be like, oh shit, Joe Martin's in it. And then that's the end of the teaser. You don't need a trailer now. Because you're like, everybody's talking like nuts. What is she going to do? What's happening? You know?
Yeah.
So people are going to go absolutely bonkers if it's like Joe Martin is a special guest. Because, you know, he tried to make a statement that it's not in the cards or he's not really going to put her in there, which could be a misdirection, you know? But
well, he has also said that her fugitive doctor isn't an alternative timeline doctor. So we had this stream after the movie.
But the doctor lies.
Where does she fit in though? Because fans are not.
She lies though. The doctor lies. The doctor always lies though.
True as well.
Like it's not gonna. I mean, she can't. Like, look at how when it was a doctor, like you know, the 10th doctor was asking the 11th doctor what's Trent's lore, and you didn't really want to tell him, right? So like, they're gonna lie. You know, she can't tell her if she's a 14th doctor or 15th doctor because it would alter the timeline.
Yeah.
You know, it would alter her because, you know, then that's the whole point. So here's the thing. I want to know from Comic-Con, when is it airing? Is it in October? Could you give us something concrete? Right.
Yeah. Is it October or early November, or is it going to be shown in 2022? We want to know these things. You're absolutely right. Right. This is at least tell us a second date. Right, when it's going to be
what's
released.
The air date? What is the situation with the special? Right?
Yeah.
Is the special attached to Series 13, or are you going to use the budget for next series and put the special from next series ahead of Series 14? You know, and I want them to definitively say, right, regardless of Jodie saying it, BBC have to come out and say to Chibnall, Jodie is here for this amount of episodes, because the problem with them is they feel they're so with the ego that they don't have to answer, but you do have to answer because again, we're going
now, don't you? I mean, look, the rumors have been going around quite a while now. I think it is about time, and this would be the perfect opportunity for Chris Chibnall himself to either dismiss the rumors that she's leaving or confirm them. And I think if he doesn't, I think that's bad. I think again, you're leaving fans hanging. Even the fans that support this era, you're leaving them hanging. And as you said anyway, and it is quite actually true what you said. He does not give a shit about us. He doesn't give a shit about the fans that support this era, and he certainly doesn't give a crap about us. So listen, I'm not expecting much on this Comic-Con. We're covering it. We're going to be live. Again, I don't know if you're doing it on your channel.
The thing is that it's my son's birthday, so I'm probably not going to be doing anything because that's more important to me. But like, I'll probably have a cast on Monday or something about it. But I don't expect nothing groundbreaking. I don't expect anything groundbreaking because it's Chris Chibnall.
Well, that'll give you time to process what's actually happened then for when you do your cast.
We may not even have anything to process. He might not give a shit. You know,
I don't know, mate.
He's terrible, man.
He has to go. He just.
Bro, he's terrible. He ain't going. He ain't going, bro. He's part of the goddamn furniture. He ain't going anywhere. That's the sad part. And again, you have to understand, he's gonna be writing the 60th. Okay, it's an ego thing. He's not giving that up. All right. Just as Moffat's like,
well, I can tell you right now, if he writes the 60th,
he is writing the 60th.
There's nobody there. There's not going to be nobody to watch it. Does he not realise that? Do BBC not realise? Listen, Series 13 in reality for a lot of fans right now. He has to go after that. Right now, your sources are saying something completely different. You've heard what other people have said out there. It doesn't matter.
Also, because HBO Max.
All I say is the reality of the situation is that if he is not gone by Series 13, I don't see it. I don't see anybody watching for the 60th.
Well,
I just look at it's down. What?
I know, but
what?
HBO Max already hinted that they are backing the 60th, especially when they had that conference with Jody and Matt Smith and David Tennant. So odds are that it's going to be a multi-doctor story, and there's going to be a little more money spent from other things besides the BBC. And it's going to be a big deal. Again, if you're a showrunner in Doctor Who, when he signed the contract, he knew he's going to be the showrunner when the 60th comes. Just like Moffat knew he was going to be the showrunner when the 50th came. And it's an ego thing. Just like Moffat wanted to have the longest doctor, the longest this, all these statistics, like baseball statistics. Chris Chibnall wants to be the one to be to the 60th and then out. So he is going to hold on to the ledge, screaming from the rooftops. He is going to do the 60th. Now, are we going to have a friggin' season? Or are they going to do what they did with Matt Smith, where we got 1 or 2 episodes during that anniversary thing? You know? I don't know what BBC is going to do. And I don't know if what they do is going to be a contradiction to the contract with HBO Max and China. Keep in mind, too, that we are not sure what Jodie Whittaker's contract entails. Okay, we know they cut 3 episodes, right? But is she have to film those 3 episodes because as part of the contract, or it's no? Because here's the thing: if that's the case, then that's the specials that we're talking about. If there are specials, it's the Dalek one and 2 other ones. So there is your series 13, really, nothing extra. You know what I'm saying? So does her contract say, even though they cut those 3 episodes, she has to do those 3 episodes? Or is it just a yearly thing? And I think it's she's going to have to do those 3 episodes. Now, as far as Series 14 goes, what's their commitment now? Is it going to be 10 episodes plus a special? Is it going to be... I really hope that Series 13 airs on her anniversary of October, when she started her season.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, actually, Joe. That would be something that they would do, wouldn't it? Actually.
Right. Now, keep in mind, it's 8 episodes. Only 8 episodes. It'll be done in 2 months, right?
Yeah.
So you air it in October. You're done in December. Do we get a New Year's Day special? Is the norm now?
I reckon we will. I reckon the specials are going to go like this. I reckon we'll get the New Year's special as we always do.
It'll be the dollar.
I reckon the second special then will be the middle of the year, probably Easter time, like they did David Tennant. That time they put out an episode on Easter. So that's what I reckon. Now that's just me. That's not me getting information from these sources. That's just me speculating. That's what I reckon could happen.
As far as the sources go with that, they've gone quiet.
Oh, I've been telling my sources, our sources, and I noticed with you as well, gone quiet. Yeah. That's why I find it quite startling when I see other YouTubers out there coming out with leaks. There is no leaks. Yeah. They're getting sources information.
It's amusing how they've gained thousands of subscribers on bullshit.
Of course they have. And then they accuse us then, right? Because I was covering the Reddit leaks at first, Joe, right? And then I realised very quickly after the second bunch of Reddit leaks that I'd done, that was all bullshit. And I came out on the stream and I said, these Reddit leaks are bull. Anybody that's reporting them as rumour and speculation and saying that they're getting it from sources is lying. They're lying. I mean, have you seen the latest Reddit leaks?
I don't. What is it? What is it now?
And doctor and all of this rubbish and a big YouTuber out there, won't mention him, right, was talking about Taiwan and how Taiwan runs Doctor Who and all of this rubbish.
God.
I'm telling you, listen, it's gone ridiculous.
They don't know shit on a shingle, and I got to tell you, I even got mad because one of them was such a campaign against John Barrowman. I wanted to fucking go crazy, but I was like, I held back because I'm like, you know what? I can't believe that 1 minute they're getting tons of subscribers and they're getting tons of views talking about how great John Barrowman is. Next minute, they're throwing him under the bus.
Yeah.
And then I don't understand why they're still continuing. Why are you going on and trying to destroy the man? Like, leave it alone. Like,
he's
and they got all their Twitter group. What happened?
He's apologized 3 times, right?
About what?
He was reprimanded by Julie back in the day. He was told to grow up. He said that he changed his behavior. He's apologized 3 times now.
He
right?
doesn't. This is not.
But this is the thing. He doesn't need to apologize to anybody except the people that he'd originally done this to, and they have seemed to have moved on from this because why? Well, the evidence is there because since the incident, he's been still working for BBC. He's had Big Finish fucking audios. He's worked for ITV. So if any of these cast members had a problem with him, right?
Nobody had a problem with him. Nobody filed anything. Here's the thing. I want to talk to all these Twitter kids because they're all kids on here. They're on Twitter all day long and they're blah 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 blah. There is no victims with John Barrowman at all. Not one. May did stuff that was crazy, but guess what? They all want to act with him. They all want a job. They all want to be with Torchwood. So it wasn't that bad for them. Now, if they're not offended, little Billy that's 15 shouldn't be offended. Okay? But little Billy that's 15 is offended. And all Billy's 15-year-old friends are offended, which make up like 1,000 Twitter handles. Okay? Now, these kids have multiple Twitter accounts. And
I actually put up a post, right? You're right, they do. And I'll tell you why. They're all putting up the same fucking tweet. Yeah. The same tweet. They're stupid.
They changed their name. Tweet. Right. Let me tell you something. The Twitter system is flawed because they're just so mental that they're talking to themselves.
I know.
And believing that it's someone else. They are creating 10, 20, 30. And over and over again, they'll change the words around a bit like, oh, you know, first of all, if you ever get into a fight with somebody, right?
Yeah.
5 years later, do you remember that fight?
Nah, not particularly, no.
Unless do you have to go back on a fucking anniversary tour and it's the anniversary of I apologize, so I got to apologize again and renew my vows of apology? No, you don't do that. Yeah. Nobody fucking does that. Nobody fucking does that. No. Okay, so you apologize once for something like fucking 13 years ago. It's over. Okay, get over yourself, right? Nobody's fucking offended in the UK. Nobody's offended with Torchwood. Nobody's offended with the CW. The guy got work, right? So shut the fuck up.
You know what, Doug? Do you know what the funniest thing was? So when they all start going after John Barrowman, I decided, because I've kept silent, as you know, I haven't been getting involved in drama, Joe.
I was involved big with the John Barrowman. I was fighting that person, if you know.
Keeping me nose down, doing me gaming streams and doing me streams and minding my own business. But when this stuff broke with Noel Clarke and then they all start going after John Barrowman.
Why is Noel Clarke off the hook, though?
Yeah, why is he off the hook?
What the fuck?
I put that point up the other day. Isn't it strange that he's gotten off the hook, but yet they're going after the guy that's a big part of the LGBT?
He's like the UK Bill fucking Cosby. Like, this motherfucker has over 20 fucking accusations. You have women screaming and crying, but you don't see shit with John Barrowman. What the fuck? Because he's not as popular. He's not as popular as John Barrowman. Half the people in America don't know who the fuck Noel Clarke is. But they know John Barrowman because they know John Barrowman from fucking Arrow, and they know fucking him from Captain Jack. Everybody knows fucking Captain Jack.
That's right.
Even if you're not a Doctor Who fan, they knew Captain Jack. They'll see a clip and they're like, "Oh, he's funny," right?
I think
so.
The funniest thing about this whole situation, though, for me is that he put up a tweet and he was being quite fucking. Someone was being homophobic and he'd lost it. And he'd put up like a tweet and loads of course words. I had a course word on it. I think he said CUNT, right? And he took down the tweet, right? So he put up another tweet, and then I went in and I said, "Oh, I thought you took down this tweet because it was offensive, but I just see you wanted to add more bad words." And
I saw that
emoji, and he retweeted me tweet. Oh my God, Joe! They lost.
Just like weeks before that, he liked something I posted because he made a video with his husband making juice or something with the lemons.
That's right.
He liked, and the people on Twitter got fucking pissed that he liked my stuff. Like, that's not really John Barrowman. Yeah, it is. And they got mad at you because they're like, "Oh my God, John Barrowman like Noel Sweet, what the fuck?" And I saw that. I'm like, these motherfuckers are having a meltdown.
Wing and all of this. John Barrowman.
I was hysterical. I'm like, "Oh my God, they're having a meltdown because TARDIS is interacting with fucking." When Noel's interacting with John Barrowman, they're like having a fucking canary.
I know.
I'm like, look at this shit. I'm like laughing my ass off, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna fucking. This is
listen.
terrible.
At the end of the day, right? People have asked, like, someone accused me of being a bootlicker. Oh, why are you all of a sudden defending John Barrowman? What are you trying to do? And what people don't realize is I talk about John Barrowman a lot on this channel. I'm a Torchwood fan.
I love the shit out of John.
Absolutely love Torchwood and where people shit on it. I love Torchwood. I love Captain Jack. I still believe his story is not complete. You know, he is one that we could still tap into. There's still loads there, right?
Yes.
And this is why. And I believe in it. They're going out. He's apologized 3 times. How many times do these have to be told, right? He doesn't know you need an apology anyway.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Noel Clarke come out and fucking flat out apologize to the women.
Oh, he did that. If he did that, then they won't cancel him. I'll tell you why they won't cancel him, right? And I hate to say this, but they won't cancel him because he's a black guy. That's why. They won't, because they'll be accused of being racist if they do.
Dude,
that's how they think.
Like, here's the thing. If you're not, they want to make advocates, these kids want to be advocates, right? Like, they're doing stuff for fucking women, right? Or whatever, right? Well, then do it again why don't you, like, represent the women for Noel Clarke? Instead of fucking talking about John Barrowman. You have a fucking situation where you have 20 fucking women.
Exactly. Why aren't you supporting Noel Clarke?
What are you doing?
Why are you concentrating on John Barrowman?
Why are these YouTubers who need the freaking subs? Because we know they're doing bullshit because of the subs, right?
Yeah,
I know. How are they not making tons of videos on Noel Clarke? Why? I don't see one damn video on Noel Clarke because nobody knows who the fuck Noel Clarke is. Sorry.
Yeah. I've done videos. I think you've done videos as well on the situation. Yeah. We've covered it because it needs to be covered. Because if he has indeed done all of these things, he is one sick puppy and deserves to be taken down. This is a time where cancel culture, if it turns out to be true, everything that he's done, that's when cancel culture.
He's not getting. Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. He's not being canceled. Because he's going to be doing the Comic-Con circuit and all the different conventions.
No,
nobody gives a shit.
I'm talking about Noel Clarke. I'm
talking about John Barrowman. But yeah, Noel Clarke, first of all, this is what's going to happen with Noel Clarke, right? He's going to go on vacation in Hawaii and all the islands for a couple of months. People are going to fucking forget because they're so distracted. And he's going to do a fucking movie. And then, oh shit, the movie's going to make tons of fucking money. And then they're going to give him back his BAFTA and all the other shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be swept under the carpet then. Exactly. But yet, the hypocrisy of them going after Barrowman after he's already apologized for an instance. But this is the thing. Again, the from these fans. I don't know why they think they deserve an apology or another thing. He hasn't been sincere.
This is what's going to happen. Noel Clarke's going to make a movie. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to take the whole salary from that movie that's a success, and he's going to give hush money. He's going to give the money to the women.
Well,
right? Listen, and no one's going to say a fucking thing.
Yeah,
right?
well, those women.
And then they're going to be like, well, nothing came from the allegation, so we give him back his BAFTA and everything else.
Do you think that will really happen, though, Joe? Because, I mean, the Guardian apparently said that they handed over evidence to the police. Now, it is quite started. We haven't heard that now. How long?
No Clark will be back full-fledged in less than a year.
You think so?
Absolutely. Before John Barrowman is, which is the fucking sad part to this reality.
Well, not necessarily, because I have got good news. Because, you know, with all of this stuff...
Well, he's supposed to be, first of all, he's supposed to be in Series 13.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, and here's the thing people don't understand is, most of it's done. Like, there's very little to be filming left.
Yeah, I think what's happened now is the fact that
they're doing specials, I think.
Barrowman's gone, and now they've brought someone else in, and maybe that's what that special guest is. They're using that special guest now, and they're filming the scenes with that person.
I don't think Chris Chibnall gives a shit about the allegations. And if you see Captain Jack, I wouldn't be too fucking surprised. Honestly. Chris Chibnall doesn't give a
because I think John Barrowman deserves all the fact that man's got to go, right? This is what upset me about the whole situation. These kids don't realise. He's bullied the man so much that he's had to go and talk to someone, seek professional help, talk to someone because he's got constant abuse and constant vile.
They are fucking destroying his life.
He's a predator. He's even comparing him to Jimmy Savile.
Listen, the problem is the pandemic, and everybody was home, and everybody was going fucking crazy because they can't go out. So they've created fucking multiple Twitter accounts. They're fighting all day, right? This is why, if you notice that I'm not really on Twitter, because I'm like, you know what? Why am I getting upset? Why am I fighting children? Right?
Exactly.
And I see the same thing happen with Problem Being and like, you know, and then he was off for a little while and then he's back, right? You're wasting all your emotional energy, right? Yeah. In a no-win scenario. Like Kobashi Maru, right? You're not winning because these kids will create 10 more accounts and fight with you, right? So why is anybody giving them the time of day? Why is anybody giving them the mouthpiece for these movie companies? They're children. They're kids with multiple Twitter accounts that they should be powerless. They should be powerless. So
listen, I have got some good news for you though. Motor City Comic Con have announced that John Barrowman returns. So that is some good news because he has lost a bit of work. Let's be honest. He's lost his bread and butter because of all of this stuff. You can clearly see that this has got to him. So I even said it. Fair play to Motor City Comic Con for not bowing down to cancel culture and actually bringing him on there. I think, you know, I was told anyway, John Barrowman will survive this. I do believe he will. But the fact that he's had to go through all of this, and listen, nobody has ever said that what he done wasn't inappropriate. He's even said it himself. He said he wouldn't do it today. He said that was his way of breaking the ice. It was tomfoolery. I believe him.
You have to understand.
And the fact that he said he was drawing a line under it, and you are saying, well, that's arrogant, Darius. Well, he's apologized twice before already. So he's apologizing the third time, and now he's gotten to the stage where he's sick of apologizing. So, of course, he's going to say he's going to draw a line under it.
I think people are looking at the situation, and here's the thing, right? He's married, right?
Yeah.
So his husband is a model, right? He makes tons of money, too. So, all right, John Barrowman, if he makes most of the money, now his husband makes most of the money. It's a marriage. It's a union. So one takes a break and the other one makes the money, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's the way a marriage is. So it's not like, plus, I'm sure he bought different companies or different products or different things that make money. Because when you start getting older, you start, like, making a thing where your wealth continues, right? Yeah. You don't need, he's a singer. He could do voice work you don't know about. He could change his voice and be a voice actor, right? Yeah. So Mark Hamill did stuff you don't even know half the stuff he did. He did some stuff in secrets. So, like, John Barrowman is not going to go bankrupt. He's finding every way to make money, and he's doing it. And he has money too. It's not like he didn't have money on the side anyway. He's, they put their money away.
What do you think of the hypocrisy of Big Finish and other people that have pulled the plug on Barham stuff? When
I am very disappointed.
Yeah,
I'm very disappointed in Big Finish that they pulled his stuff. I'm very disappointed in Time Fracture taking his stuff. I felt once they did that, I was kind of against Time Fracture. I think that Big Finish will release Captain Jack stuff in the fall anyway. I think it's just delayed. It's not held back indefinitely. But, and I hope that, we know that Chris Chibnall doesn't give a shit. So, if you see Captain Jack show up in Series 13 and fuck it, who cares? Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to see him in there. So, I honestly think, look at all the people that have been canceled so far, right? Bill Cosby's out of prison, right? Yeah. Bill Cosby's making millions of dollars again, right? All the YouTubers that got canceled, they're coming back, right? Making millions in fucking instantly, right? Yeah. It's only a vacation, kind of. It's canceled. You're canceled for a little bit, but then what happens in this day and age? It's called revivals, right? Will and Grace revival, Friends revival, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air revival, right? Everything's coming back, right? So nothing is canceled forever.
Yeah.
So John Barham will be back.
He will, and rightly so. And again, I'll continue to support him. I mean, anytime he puts up a tweet, you just have to go in and you see all the vile people go in and still, like, are you going to apologize, John? You're going to give a sincere apology? Again, I'm going to say it to you again, 3060 is watching, so I know some Whittaker fans are listening right now. He owes you absolutely nothing. Unless he took his willy out and slapped it on your shoulder or your face, you do not.
But it's not all Whittaker fans. You have to understand it's that group of kids.
I know.
I don't like it how they put people in categories. Like they have not my doctor. There's so many different. There's so many different Jodie Whittaker groups.
Oh, you're right. That's fair. I should be fair. You do make a fair.
Just like they put us in a group half the time. We don't like that. We don't like that shit either.
Of this era. Yeah. Look. It's done. The situation was dealt with. He's apologized 3 times, and he apologized on radio as well, right? So that's 4 apologies. He owes you nothing. He owes you absolutely nothing. No. Now, if he owes anything to anybody, it would be the people that he done it to if they still have a problem with it.
But they don't. And that's the thing now. They lost work now. They lost work now.
Even Garrett Lloyd, the fella that plays Yanto Jones, publicly come out and supported him. And what happened when he did that? Oh, let's go down to Cardiff and get rid of Yanto's shrine.
Right, yeah. They all lost work because of the cancel culture against John Barham. Because if they were going to bring Torture back, they're not bringing it back now. Thanks a lot. And this is what gets me, right? These kids that are YouTubers, they're trying to go viral. They're trying to get controversial stuff that makes them thrive on YouTube. And they've gotten thousands and thousands. But guess what? If Doctor Who's canceled, where would they be? Nowhere. Because that's all there fucking is. That's all they do. And this is why I told you, right? I said, start doing other shit other than Doctor Who, right? You were doing Loki, you doing, right? Yeah. This is what I did a long time ago. I started doing different shit. Now, I made fun of myself past couple of weeks because I'm like, I fucking started doing lessons. People think I'm a fucking food critic. Then every time somebody pressures me, they're like, go choke on a donut or go drink some fucking soap. So I took all that shit off my main channel now. I put it on my second channel. I'm like, I'm not a damn food critic, but I'm not going to do Doctor Who videos in response to these kids that are putting nonsense because it's only promoting their shit. When we have concrete stuff like you do too, then I'll do Doctor Who videos, but I'm doing other stuff like Spider-Man and this and that. So, like, I didn't give up on Doctor Who, but there's nothing to fucking talk about. I don't need to do a fucking podcast on Jodie Whittaker crying. Don't fucking care, honestly. When she had 2 different color socks, I made fun of it. I did a podcast, I did a joke, I said the news, and I was out in like 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes, like 2 minutes. Because that's what it is, there's no news. Nothing. Yeah. All right, they're filming. Who gives a shit? Like, do we see any pictures of anything? No.
Teddy says, I want to... why do you always put hard words? again, not that the chat needs it, but Noel Clarke was accused of being a sexual predator.
Yes.
John Barrowman was holding himself accountable for poorly judged entertainment.
Yes.
Exactly. And then follows it up. And Cheryl, anybody that knows Cheryl's story will know we've made this point before, but we're not going to go into it. But the fact that Cheryl says this, I will always stand with victims, but nobody is claiming to be a victim of John.
Correct.
And that is
We've all said that, and these kids are trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. And exactly, there's nothing going on with John Barrowman. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Leaks. Go eat leaks. Yeah, which you already have. But whatever.
Says the Twitter kids should apologize. They won't apologize, though. That's the thing.
And then say something happens, right? And the press vindicates John Barrowman, right? Yeah. And they say right, and the press says we love John Barrowman. These kids will be promoting John Barrowman. Oh, I love him too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I didn't know all the details. I'm sorry, and they'll come out with their stupid statements.
Right. Yeah.
When that hate-told person was exposed to be saying inappropriate things to girls. Do you remember? And they were all coming out with their stupid little statements, and I was laughing. What are you all coming out making statements for? You aren't that big.
But there's this other kid. There's this other kid now.
Important. You ain't important. You are like us. You're just fans.
Right. But there's this other kid now. I don't want to like really bring up any names, but you having interaction with him about Doctor Magazine, right? Mm. He's like in 2020. Joe. Listen. First of all, I like Jodie Whittaker, so I'm not. I'm not against Jodie Whittaker.
You like Jodie? That's the thing. Right. People don't realize you actually are a fan of Jodie Whittaker.
But the thing is, if you're full of shit, you're full of shit. The Doctor Who magazine sales are in the fucking toilet, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm not going to be biased because because I like Jodie Whittaker, right? Yeah, I'm not going to be like, oh, Jodie Whittaker has the best cover. Oh yeah, 5 people bought it. That's great. Listen, I sent you the thing, right? Every year, the magazine lost 1,000 or 2, right? You're down to 16,000, whatever. That's pathetic. For millions of Whovians out there. And you know what the sad part is? Wow. Even in America, they make that magazine fucking double price. Expensive.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get it all the time. In fact, it was doing so bad here. Didn't I tell you, I think the last time I spoke to you, that they were looking to give the magazines away? I bought 25 magazines. It cost me like $2. They were giving it to me for change. For nickels. I almost broke my back, and I had a stack of magazines. They didn't want to throw it out, so I bought it for like a nickel each or something, right? All the ones I missed, which is pathetic. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take them, absolutely. And I gave some to the kids. I got doubles and triples of the damn thing. They were looking to give it away, and then they decided they don't want to have that many copies anymore because nobody was buying it. So
right, we've got something here. YouTube. I don't know how long they put how long this is up. But apparently there's some new. Hold on. So brand new multi-platform first-person game featuring the 10th and the 13th Doctors. Edge of Reality is released in September, and I think the Doctor Who YouTube channel has just
PS4, PS5. Right.
Yeah, they've just thrown up. It's for PC, I think, mate. Hold on.
I know there's supposed to be a PS4, PS5 game.
Oh, well, listen, I know I'm not a big fan of the 13th Doctor, but I would buy a Doctor Who game because,
absolutely,
there's not many, like, for our consoles that we use. Like, you can get a lot mobile phone games, but, yeah, where is this now? Where's this fucking trailer?
Listen, we get heat no matter what we talk about. I was getting heat in the gaming community. People like,
you can't talk at it anymore, mate.
People like, you don't belong here. Who are you? Like, the moment I started getting a lot of trophies, people were getting mad.
Yeah.
They're like, I've been doing this for years, and you coming along, and you got like hundreds of platinums. Like, who do you think you are? I'm just playing games, dude. Like, I'm having fun.
I'm just saying.
I grow, whatever.
Game and streams, I was
like, getting. I want to be #1 gamer, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Whatever.
Listen, I've been doing gaming streams as well, and I had the trolls coming in trolling me on that. and it just got to the point where well, I wasn't acknowledging them or anything, like, but I got to the point where, because the way I had it set up, I could see the comments all the time as I was playing, so I removed it. So I don't see the comments anymore now, but I do.
Yeah, somebody was ruining my stream with curse words as a name.
Yeah,
and I had to stop that too. It's sad because you can't interact with your audience, but they're gonna ruin my stream. I'm not gonna have comments.
Exactly, you can't have that, because you know that, and that's what they try to do, mate. They can't get us any other way, so they'll try to take down your channel, and by using tactics like that. And it's quite fucking sickening, to be quite honest with you. Right, let's. I want to play this fucking thing. I don't know if I'll get a claim now because it's a trailer, but
don't play it. You're gonna get a claim.
Will I?
Play. Do a separate thing on it.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Me and you will listen to it off stream, because I'm gonna finish up.
If you did a separate thing, then you know that one would get claimed, not this whole podcast that you did 2 hours.
No, you're right. I tell you what. Me and Joe will come back, right? We'll react. It's only about 35 seconds. We'll do a 2-3 minute little podcast straight after this, right? And we react to. So come back to us. I'm gonna put the stream up, and we'll set it up on StreamYard, and we'll set it up, folks. So come back and join us in the chat. Don't forget now, folks, right? Actually, stay there for a minute. What I'll do is I'll set it up now. I'll set it up now so you can all go into the chat.
Yeah.
Right? So we're not losing any of you guys.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll do that. We'll do that live as well. So we'll put that in.
How's Teddy doing? How's Teddy? Is it all right?
Yeah, he's doing great now. Yeah. He's
Cheryl. Cheryl's good too?
Cheryl's fine. Say hello, Cheryl. No, I mean, yours as bad as Lee. Say hello, Matrix Lord.
Hi.
No, I'm telling her to say hello, Matrix.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Joe. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm dying of heat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I said. Do you want to swap lead now? Weather, mate.
It's hot here though too. It's like hot as. It's ridiculously hot. I got my air conditioner. Yeah.
Right, I have it ready. It's going to be called Doctor Who Edge of Reality Reaction. We're going to do a quick reaction to it. I'm going to set it up now. So what's it?
Go off here, but we'll stay in here and watch it, and then we'll go into the other one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll watch it on our own first, and then.
But he's saying you guys are going to stay on that stream.
Yeah, we're going to stay on here when we end the stream. We're going to watch it, and then we're going
to watch it.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'll set it for 5:05 because you have to have 10 minutes on off. 5:10 because you have to have it 10 minutes. It's ridiculous the way StreamYard do this sometimes.
Yeah, they were asking me all this weird stuff to get in here. I'm surprised.
What?
I said they technical stuff at the same time.
Yeah, I know. I'm bad at this fucking technology stuff.
They did something different with StreamYard because I had an issue coming in. It was like all the security.
No, they have. You're right, because it looks like it's updated. I don't know what they've done with it, but I've been having.
I didn't update mine yet.
Even with it. But listen, folks, that's us done now. We're going to be back. But Joe, before you do go, plug your channel, mate, because it's been a long time.
Okay. Check out my YouTube channel, Matrix Lord 212. And if you're interested in any donut lessons or soda lessons, you can see that on my second channel. And then I have my gaming channel 3, which I do all my achievements on there. But I have gaming on my main channel. So we got 3 channels, Matrix Lord 212, channel 2, and channel 3. There you go.
There you go. And one of the mods, I'm pretty sure, will throw those links.
There you go. Thank you,
right,
mods.
And, we're back again later on tonight, remember, folks, for our movie stream.
Nice.
No, not movie stream. Sliders. Sorry. With Alpha.
Wow. I haven't seen that in ages.
Yeah, we've been doing Sliders. We're doing 2 episodes at a time. So for the last couple of weeks, we've done the first 4 episodes of season 1. I remember watching it as a kid and loved it.
Yeah, me too.
It's in some. I have to say, Joe. Some of the stories hold up very well still to this day. I'm actually astonished. But it's supposed to be getting a reboot.
Yes, that and Quantum Leap.
Yeah, also. And the writer has come out to say it won't be woke, which makes me worried because when they start coming out and saying things won't be woke,
it won't be woke. Then it's gonna be woke.
It's gonna be woke, exactly.
Just like when you gonna review. Are you gonna review He-Man? Because I'm scared about that too.
I'm going to watch the first couple of episodes because I
I'm
was
scared
obviously
shitless
I
about
grew
that.
up with that. There is shit hitting the fan with that.
Yeah, I know.
Kevin Smith may have lied, but we don't know because I haven't seen it myself, so I'm not going to make any judgments. It's like what I said about Loki, right? If you were to listen to everybody out there, Loki was a pile of crap, right? What I'd say to you is, even if those streamers are saying it's a pile of crap, I would say go and watch it for yourself because I loved it. Every episode that me and Cheryl reviewed didn't rate lower than a 7.
Yeah,
it was. I loved it.
Absolutely. I loved it. I loved it to death, and I understood as a Marvel fan what they were doing because Loki is creating the whole thing for the MCU now going forward. So that was using like every single thing that was in there was important, and what happened was important. But they don't get it. They're looking for whatever they're looking for.
It's like the Mandalorian. They're just looking for something to hate on. Even with the Mandalorian,
my favorite is WandaVision. And for the life of me, I loved WandaVision to death.
Oh, did you?
It's still my favorite, and I bought all the merch. Like I bought like tons of stuff. Like. So I'm a huge fan of WandaVision. Me and Sharon. Sharon is not a big superhero, but she loved WandaVision. So, but she don't want to watch. Yeah.
Cheryl actually said to me, "Do you want to watch WandaVision?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't want to watch it." And that's
the thing. People were coming out there. They're calling it MCU. I'm like, no, it had nothing to do with like that bullshit.
But I was like, she was going, "Go on, give it a go," and I was like, "I don't want to watch it because I was listening to people."
No, right? I know.
But as soon as I watched it myself, then that's when I copped on.
Fucking love it.
They all have an agenda now. It's because they ruined Disney Star Wars. They can't get over their hate. No matter what they do now, they're just not going to be happy. They'll nitpick.
Yeah, that's their channel sells on negativity, not positivity. So they're gonna say some shit, and that's what stuff was getting me annoyed too when I was watching that stuff too. Because I'm like, wait a minute. One, maybe my opinion's biased because Scarlet Witch and Vision are like my favorite characters, right? So but I love the shit out of it, and I'm like, I'm trying to see what they see, and I'm like, that's not there. First of all, you're making like it's Wanda, like it's about Wanda, like it's all about. Isn't that do with like a female thing? Like,
well, I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah, it was a female-led franchise.
It's Wanda. It's not fucking Vision. Like, what the fuck? So, like, if you don't get that, like. Even in the comics, the same shit. Like, it's about her. So, yes, the Vision loves Wanda, but it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, there was nothing wrong with WandaVision, right? Now, Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier, I had some problems with, but I did like it, right? But I liked it lesser than, it was like WandaVision, Loki, and then Captain America, Falcon, Winter Soldier.
Well, we haven't watched Winter Soldier yet, so don't spoil it because Cheryl is what wants to watch that. Now we have been told, and even by people that have loved what the Marvel shows have said that Winter Soldier is the weakest one. This is the weakest one that they put out so far. But we'll still give it a go anyway because at the end of the day, people have different tastes, including yourself. Cheryl has as well. Cheryl might absolutely love it. I might absolutely love it or I could hate it. But from now on, I'm not going to listen to anybody. And even when I do my reviews for Series 13, guys, I will say to you, right, don't take my word for it either. Don't take Joe's word for it or whoever else does it. Go and watch these things for yourself. Because you know what's happened? And we'll finish with this. Do you know what's happened, right? People are waiting now for reviewers like the ones that we know to come out and talk a show. Soon as they shit it, right, then you'll see their chat. Oh, I'm not watching it. It's pile of crap. Oh, it's
you have to have an open mind. Listen, you have to have an open mind in life. You could be fans of YouTubers, right?
Yeah.
But you cannot like base your whole opinion on someone else's opinion.
Exactly.
So like if I don't like an episode of Doctor Who, right? That shouldn't mean that you don't watch it. You should see, well, I want to see why he doesn't like it, right?
Exactly.
You should have an open mind.
Exactly. That's the point. And that's what I think that's what's being lost because that's what used to happen. But now it's
we could be friends with those YouTubers.
Exactly.
And not agree completely. Doesn't mean we're enemies. but we just don't agree.
We
You know,
just have
and
to
that
confront
where that's it. Like, you know, that's the way it is. You just don't agree, and that's the way it's always been. Where you have friends that you just don't agree. Not that everybody's like killing each other. You know, now on Twitter it's like, oh my god. You know.
So Garda said he watches WandaVision, he hated it and found it boring. Well, that's fair enough, but you watched it.
You have to understand that I have thousands and thousands of comic books and tons of Avengers books. I am a huge Scarlet Witch and Vision fan. So maybe my opinion's biased, but I love the shit out of it. Because I liked watching when I was a kid Bewitched and Dick Van Dyke Show and Make Room for Daddy and That Girl and all these different shows that I felt, oh, this is so cool that they did that, right? And then they tied it in with her and then tied it in with Agatha, and I really enjoyed it. And also the Vision also. I love that aspect.
Yeah, I like that. That shocked me, actually. I think the one thing that Elizabeth Olsen did do wrong was, though, is she hyped up the surprise. You know, whereas if they had kept our mouth closed, I think it would have had more of an impact. That's the only issue that I do have.
What surprise?
Oh, well, you're going to get a Mandalorian style spoiler like they did with Luke Skywalker.
Actually, Paul Bentley made it like it was a big guest star in the final, and then everybody went crazy. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was him by himself, right? But like, yeah, I loved it. So, you know, and that's the main thing is like going into anything, I have an open mind. And I'm just gonna go, regardless if I see 20 people hating it, I'm just gonna see it if I want to see it, you know. And that's it. And you should too. You gotta have an open mind with things.
That's it. Cheryl wants to actually say something before we end. So go on, make your point, Cheryl, because I want to end this stream. So me and
it's just simple. Let's just say Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the weakest of them. That doesn't make it bad.
Yeah,
right. Correct, because like it's high quality content. I didn't think it was bad at all, but I just, of course, there was some, you know, you'll see when you see. That's it. Just
I'm excited to watch, but I'm excited to watch on it as my own, with my own opinion and everything. Yeah. And you know what? For the people that keep saying like it's the list, just remember, you always have a favorite episode of Star Wars. You always do. It doesn't make the other one shit. Like the original trilogy, if you like Return of the Jedi best or Empire Strikes Back best, that doesn't make Star Wars shit. It just means you like one over the other a little bit better.
Yeah, I prefer Star Trek, so there you go.
But
is the greatest movie of all time, right?
We're gonna leave it there. Me and Joe will be back in about 5 minutes from now. We've kind of went over because I kept talking like a numpty.
That's all right. I start talking to MCU stuff.
That's my fault. So we will be back in a couple of minutes. We're gonna check out this new trailer for this new game and see if it appeals to us. I hope it does. I really do, because I'd love a game for PlayStation 4 or 5, man.
Starving for
I think you're still on. I think you're still. Are we still friends on the PlayStation Network? Because I know before we had the bit of.
Let me just make a disclaimer for that. Here's the thing. I have tons of friends requests, and I have no idea. I never pay attention to any of that stuff. Right? I don't. My internet is crap, so I can't really. I'm lucky I'm able to go online or whatever, and I know I have to change it, but it doesn't mean I hate anybody. I love everybody, but I just don't have the internet strong enough to play everybody. But I don't even know if you are. Maybe you are. If not, I'll try to add you. But
do that, man. Because I'll give you my tag name. Because I wouldn't mind playing a game or two, which is whatever games you play.
My internet's strong enough, because most of the time I get kicked off. But I definitely would. Yeah.
Fine. Right, we're gonna go. We're gonna leave you with the channel trailer. We'll talk to you very soon. Well, we'll talk to you in a few minutes. So thanks for joining us all. Joe, thank you again. It's an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you, sir. Remember, appreciate
folks, don't be listening to people out there when they're saying this here magazine and all is.
Even if your friends with them, have an open mind.
Do just, as I said, open mind about everything, including what we've been talking about. Go and check this out. Look, it took Joe 2 seconds while I was talking in the video earlier to show me evidence, even though that's what I was actually sent by someone else. But see how quick it was. Joe was able to show me that.
Yeah, really look into it. Like, really know what to type in, searching for, instead of just assuming that Doctor Who magazine is fucking whatever, you know.
Well, all I will say is, if you haven't bought one, You know, I can't believe I'm actually doing this, but I will because I don't want to
I don't
see
know
the
why you're doing it.
die.
Why you do? I know. We
Because I
don't
don't
want
want
to
the
cancel. I
to
know.
die. Because listen, it survived the 80s for fuck's sake. Right?
Yeah.
And
You
it's
could
not
buy
gonna
20
survive.
copies
It's not
today.
allowed- We can't allow it to go. Even though we might hate
I
what's
know.
happening to it, we can't allow
You're
it to
right.
go.
But
So
you could buy 20 copies, and Christian will find 20 more ways to bring it to the ground.
I know he will. I know he will. Right, we'll leave it there anyway. But if you want to, if you want to get a subscription,
Go buy a magazine today. I'll go buy one too.
Yeah, that's it. Go and buy it because it's got Pertwee on the cover and plenty of
There you
classic content anyway for you. So you will actually enjoy it, you know. So go and buy it. Me and Joe are off. We'll talk to you in a few minutes. It says 3 minutes until the next video, so we better go.
Yeah, let's go.
Bye bye, folks.
All right, take it back now. All right.
Right. Let's